Let's be honest. Life has a way of distracting us from the most important thing, ourselves. We wake up, rush through the motions of our day, and before we know it, time has slipped away, and we've spent more energy on everyone and everything but ourselves. If you've ever felt like your focus is scattered, that your dreams seem more like distant wishes than achievable goals, you're not alone. But here's the truth. Nothing changes unless you decide to make it change. Self-improvement, growth, and achieving the life you desire all begin with one powerful choice: focusing on yourself. It sounds simple, but how many of us truly dedicate each day to our own development? How many of us really take the time to rediscover what excites us, what brings us peace, and what truly makes our lives meaningful? In today's episode, we're going to dive into how to rebuild yourself, using the wisdom of Stoicism as a guide to reconnect with your passions, cultivate self-awareness, and ultimately transform your life, one intentional choice at a time. But before we get into the steps, let me share a story with you, a story that may sound familiar. There was a man named Adam who was like many of us, juggling a busy job, trying to keep up with his responsibilities, and constantly dealing with distractions. For years, Adam felt like he was just surviving, not living. He had big dreams, writing a book, starting his own business, and even traveling the world, but he could never seem to find the time. His life felt like it was on autopilot. Every day was a repeat of the last, filled with tasks, obligations, and noise. One evening, Adam realized that his life wasn't going to change unless he made a conscious effort to focus on what truly mattered to him. He had been living for others, meeting their expectations, and ignoring his own. The change didn't come in a single moment, but in a decision he made that night to prioritize himself. The next morning, Adam woke up with a simple question in mind. What do I need to do today to move closer to the person I want to become? And with that question, he began a journey of intentional change. Small decisions, like waking up an hour earlier to write, choosing healthier meals, and dedicating time to his passions, started to add up. Over time, he noticed a shift, not just in his actions, but in his mindset. He was no longer living on autopilot. He was living with purpose. The lesson here is clear. Self-discipline isn't just about making changes. It's about making choices that align with your true values and desires. When you make that shift, when you decide to focus on yourself every day, the results may not be immediate, but they will be profound. So, are you ready to start focusing on the most important person in your life? Let's dive into how to rebuild yourself with intention, one day at a time. 1. Rediscover your passions and purpose. Have you ever felt like you're simply going through the motions of life? Like you've lost touch with what truly excites you or what gives your life meaning? It's all too easy to get caught up in the routine, work, responsibilities, and obligations, and forget about the passions and purposes that once made you feel alive. But here's the thing. If you don't reconnect with what drives you, you'll keep drifting further away from the life you truly want. The first step in rebuilding yourself is rediscovering your passions. What excites you? What brings you joy? What makes you feel energized and purposeful? For many of us, the answer is buried beneath years of societal expectations, career pressures, and the noise of everyday life. We forget what made us excited about life in the first place. Think about it. When was the last time you spent time doing something simply because it brought you joy? Not because it was a task, not because it was expected, but just because it made you feel good. Whether it's painting, playing music, writing, or even something as simple as taking long walks in nature, these are the things that bring meaning to your life. But they often get pushed aside when life gets busy. The Stoics were masters at understanding the importance of purpose. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." This simple yet profound statement tells us that we don't need to search for meaning in abstract ideas or external validation. It's already within us. We must simply rediscover it and then live it out with intention. Think about the people you admire the most. Chances are they are people who are deeply connected to their purpose. They know what drives them, and they've cultivated a life around that. Their work, their relationships, and their actions all align with what matters most to them. And that's the kind of life you can create too. The question is, how do you rediscover that purpose? It starts with reflection. Take time to think about the things that light you up. What were you passionate about as a child? What activities make you lose track of time because you're so engaged? If you're not sure, start by experimenting with different activities. Allow yourself the freedom to explore new hobbies or revisit old ones that you once loved. You don't need to have it all figured out right away. Rediscovery is a process, not a destination. This process also involves letting go of the things that no longer serve you. As you grow, your passions may change, and that's perfectly fine. But the key is to stay connected to what excites you. Make it a habit to carve out time in your day for these activities, no matter how busy life gets. These moments of passion are what fuel your purpose, and they are essential to your well-being. When you rediscover your passions, you reignite your purpose. And when you live with purpose, your actions become more focused and aligned with your deepest values. This clarity leads to greater fulfillment, less stress, and a stronger sense of direction in your life. Remember, the path to rebuilding yourself starts with reconnecting to what truly matters to you. Make the time to rediscover your passions and watch how it transforms your life. 2. Cultivate self-awareness and acceptance. How often do you take a moment to truly understand yourself, to reflect on your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions? It's easy to get caught up in the rush of life and forget to check in with ourselves. We're so focused on external expectations, achieving goals, and keeping up with the world around us that we often neglect the most important relationship we'll ever have, the one with ourselves. The key to rebuilding yourself is cultivating self-awareness. Without it, you're like a ship without a rudder, drifting wherever the currents take you. Self-awareness is the foundation for making better decisions, managing your emotions, and aligning your actions with your true desires. It's the ability to look inward and understand why you think, feel, and act the way you do. The Stoics understood the power of self-awareness. They believed that wisdom begins with self-examination. Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, said, "Know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly." This quote teaches us that knowing ourselves is the first step to living a life of purpose and authenticity. Without self-awareness, we can't truly understand our motivations or our true desires, and we may find ourselves pursuing goals that don't bring us fulfillment. Take a moment to reflect. When was the last time you really sat down and thought about who you are? What makes you happy? What are your core values? What are the things that you're holding on to that no longer serve you? It's easy to ignore these questions, but they're essential for understanding where you are in life and where you want to go. Self-awareness isn't about self-criticism or harsh judgment. It's about observing yourself with compassion and curiosity. It's about recognizing your strengths, acknowledging your weaknesses, and understanding how your thoughts and emotions influence your actions. When you cultivate this kind of awareness, you begin to see patterns in your behavior, both the positive and the negative. Once you understand yourself, the next step is self-acceptance. This is where many people struggle. We often believe that self-awareness is only valuable if we can change or fix what we don't like about ourselves. But self-acceptance is about embracing who you are, flaws and all. It's about recognizing that you are worthy of love and respect, just as you are, while also being open to growth and improvement. The Stoics believed that true happiness doesn't come from external circumstances, but from within. They practiced accepting things as they were, without resistance or resentment. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This reflects the Stoic ideal of accepting what you cannot control, while focusing on cultivating a peaceful and virtuous mind. Self-acceptance doesn't mean complacency. It doesn't mean resigning yourself to things that aren't working for you. It means acknowledging where you are right now without judgment and committing to growth from that place. It's about being kind to yourself as you work on becoming the person you aspire to be. To cultivate self-awareness and acceptance, start with regular self-reflection. Set aside time each day or week to check in with yourself. Journaling can be a great tool for this, helping you process your thoughts and track your emotional patterns. Ask yourself questions like, what did I learn about myself today? How did I respond to stress or challenges? What can I do differently tomorrow to align with my true self? The more you practice self-awareness and self-acceptance, the more in tune you'll become with your true needs and desires. You'll start to make decisions that align with your values, and you'll feel a greater sense of peace and clarity in your life. And when you accept yourself fully, you free yourself from the pressure to be something you're not, and you can focus on becoming the best version of yourself. So, start today. Take a moment to look inward, embrace who you are, and commit to understanding yourself more deeply. It's the first step in the journey of rebuilding yourself. 3. Prioritize your well-being and self-care. How often do you put yourself last on the priority list? In the hustle of daily life, it's easy to neglect our own well-being. We rush from task to task, juggle responsibilities, and try to keep up with the world around us, forgetting that in order to give our best to others, we must first give our best to ourselves. Prioritizing your well-being and self-care isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Your mind, body, and emotions need regular care and attention if you want to function at your highest potential. Just like a car needs fuel, maintenance, and rest, so does your body and mind. If you ignore the signals your body and mind are giving you, you'll run on empty, and burnout will become inevitable. The Stoics, who often focused on living in harmony with nature, recognized the importance of caring for oneself. They understood that true strength comes from balance, taking care of your physical health, your mental clarity, and your emotional well-being. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." What he meant was that time spent neglecting your health or avoiding self-care is time wasted. If you want to live a full, meaningful life, you need to make your well-being a priority. The first step is acknowledging that self-care is not selfish. It's easy to feel guilty for taking time for yourself, especially when there are endless responsibilities pulling you in different directions. But think about it. If you don't take care of yourself, you won't be able to show up for anyone else. Whether it's your family, your friends, or your work, Your ability to give will be limited by how much you take care of your own needs. So, what does prioritizing your well-being look like in practice? It starts with paying attention to your physical health. Are you eating foods that fuel your body, or are you reaching for comfort foods that leave you feeling sluggish and drained? Are you getting enough sleep, or are you pushing yourself too hard? Taking care of your body doesn't require perfection. It requires consistent small actions that add up over time. Even something as simple as drinking more water, taking a short walk each day, or eating more whole foods can make a significant difference in how you feel. Next, prioritize your mental health. In a world filled with distractions, it's easy to lose focus and get overwhelmed by the constant stream of information and demands. Take time to clear your mind. Meditate, journal, or simply take a few deep breaths to center yourself. Make it a habit to check in with your emotions and acknowledge how you're feeling. Are you stressed, anxious, or sad? Recognizing these feelings is the first step toward managing them. You don't have to fix everything right away, but you do need to give yourself permission to feel and process your emotions without judgment. And don't forget your emotional well-being. Self-care also involves surrounding yourself with people who lift you up and nourish your soul. It's about having boundaries, saying no when needed, and not feeling guilty for doing so. Invest in relationships that bring positivity and support, and let go of those that drain your energy. Your emotional well-being is just as important as your physical and mental health, and you deserve relationships that encourage your growth. The Stoics believed that cultivating inner peace was essential for living a good life. They understood that without mental clarity and emotional resilience, nothing else would truly matter. By taking care of your body, mind, and emotions, you're not only ensuring that you function at your best, you're creating a foundation of well-being that will allow you to pursue your goals with focus and energy. So, make self-care a priority today. It doesn't have to be a grand gesture. Start with simple acts. Drink water, take a walk, get enough sleep, and create space for quiet reflection. When you take care of yourself, you'll find that everything else in your life will start to flow more easily. You'll have the energy to pursue your dreams, handle challenges with clarity, and show up as the best version of yourself. 4. Develop healthy habits and daily routines. Have you ever noticed how small actions repeated over time can have a massive impact on your life? The habits you develop today are the building blocks of your future, whether it's how you start your morning or how you unwind before bed. Your daily routines shape the quality of your life, your mental state, and your productivity. Developing healthy habits isn't about making drastic changes overnight. It's about creating small, consistent actions that you can rely on every day. Think about the things you do every day, even without thinking. These habits, whether positive or negative, are silently guiding the direction of your life. So the question is, are your daily habits leading you closer to your goals, or are they holding you back? The Stoics understood the power of daily habits and routines. They believed that our character is shaped by the choices we make consistently. Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This simple wisdom highlights the connection between who you are and what you do. Your actions are reflections of your values, and your habits are the threads that weave together the fabric of your character. Take a moment to reflect. What does your day look like? Do you wake up with a purpose, or do you get lost in the busyness of life? Do you have a routine that sets you up for success, or do you jump from one task to the next without clear direction? The way you spend your days is how you spend your life, If you want to see change, you need to start by changing your habits, one small step at a time. Creating healthy habits begins with awareness. Identify the actions that are serving you and the ones that are holding you back. If you want to improve your physical health, for example, you can start by incorporating small habits like drinking more water, eating balanced meals, or moving your body daily. If you want to be more productive, start by establishing a morning routine that sets the tone for your day. Whether it's a quick meditation session, reading, or simply organizing your tasks. The key here is consistency. Healthy habits are like seeds. At first, they may seem small and insignificant, but over time, they grow into something much bigger. A small morning routine, for example, can set the stage for a more focused, intentional day. By doing it every day, it becomes a part of who you are, and eventually it produces the results you want. But remember, developing healthy habits doesn't mean perfection. It means progress. Some days will be better than others, and that's okay. The Stoics believed that we should embrace progress, not perfection. It's not about being flawless, it's about taking consistent steps in the right direction. Even when you slip up or fall off track, it's important to return to your routines without judgment. The key is to keep moving forward. To help reinforce your habits, create a daily routine that aligns with your values and goals. Make your habits as automatic as possible so they require less mental effort. This can mean setting reminders, tracking your progress, or using tools like habit tracking apps. When you make healthy habits a non-negotiable part of your day, they become second nature. The Stoics practiced daily reflection as part of their routine. Marcus Aurelius, in his meditations, would reflect on his day and assess whether he had lived in accordance with his principles. You can do the same. At the end of each day, take a moment to reflect on what went well, what you could improve, and what you're grateful for. This practice will help you stay grounded and ensure that your habits continue to align with your bigger goals. So, start small. Focus on developing one healthy habit at a time. It might be something as simple as making your bed every morning or dedicating 10 minutes to meditation. Over time, these small actions will compound, and you'll find yourself moving closer to your goals and becoming the person you want to be. 5. Overcome limiting beliefs and build resilience. How many times have you stopped yourself from doing something because you didn't believe you were good enough? Maybe you've told yourself, "I'm not ready," or "I'm not capable of this." These thoughts may feel like protection, but in reality, they're nothing more than limiting beliefs holding you back from reaching your potential. The problem with limiting beliefs is that they're often invisible. They live in the background of our thoughts, quietly dictating what we think we can and can't do. And over time, these beliefs become ingrained in our minds, shaping our identity and limiting our growth. The truth is, most of the time, these beliefs aren't based on reality. They're just stories we've told ourselves, stories that we have the power to change. The Stoics had a powerful approach to overcoming limiting beliefs. They believed that our thoughts and perceptions shape our reality, and that we have the ability to change how we view ourselves and our circumstances. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Much of this wasted time comes from the limits we place on ourselves, from the belief that we can't or shouldn't do something. The first step in overcoming these beliefs is recognizing them. Pay attention to the thoughts that arise when you face a challenge. What are the first things you tell yourself? Do you immediately start thinking of reasons why you can't succeed? Or do you start exploring ways to make it work? You see, overcoming limiting beliefs isn't just about trying harder. It's about changing the way you think about your potential. When you think you can't do something, you're already defeating yourself. But when you change your mindset to, how can I make this work? You open up a world of possibilities. You stop seeing obstacles as roadblocks and start seeing them as opportunities for growth. The key here is resilience, the ability to bounce back from challenges, learn from your mistakes, and keep going even when things get tough. Resilience isn't about never failing. It's about how you respond to failure. When you face setbacks, instead of retreating into self-doubt, take a moment to reflect on what you can learn from the experience. What went wrong? What can you do differently next time? This mindset allows you to turn failure into a stepping stone rather than a stop sign. The Stoics practiced resilience through reflection and self-discipline. They would regularly remind themselves that life is unpredictable and that challenges are inevitable. But instead of being discouraged by difficulties, they focused on what they could control: their responses, their attitudes, and their actions. They didn't let fear or doubt hold them back from moving forward. Building resilience also means learning to embrace discomfort. Growth happens when you step outside your comfort zone. It's easy to stay within the boundaries of what feels safe, but true progress requires you to push past those limits. When you confront your fears and doubts head-on, you become stronger. Each challenge you face builds your mental muscle, making you more resilient for the next one. So, what can you do today to start overcoming your limiting beliefs? Begin by identifying the beliefs that are holding you back. Write them down, challenge them. Ask yourself, is this belief based on facts, or is it just a story I've told myself? Then, replace that limiting belief with an empowering thought. Instead of, I can't do this, tell yourself, I will figure this out. I am capable of finding a solution. As you build resilience, you'll find that you become more confident in your ability to handle whatever life throws your way. The more you push through your limiting beliefs, the stronger your belief in yourself becomes. You'll stop waiting for the perfect moment and start taking action, knowing that you have the strength to overcome any challenge. 6. Foster meaningful relationships and emotional intelligence. Have you ever noticed how your relationships shape your life? Whether we like it or not, the people we spend time with influence our emotions, our mindset, and our overall well-being. Yet it's easy to take relationships for granted, or, even worse, invest in connections that drain us rather than nurture us. If you want to rebuild yourself and create lasting change, fostering meaningful relationships and improving emotional intelligence must be a priority. The foundation of emotional intelligence is understanding and managing your emotions, and also recognizing and responding to the emotions of others. It's about developing empathy, being able to regulate your emotions in the face of challenges, and having the ability to build strong, healthy relationships. This skill is crucial not only for your personal growth, but also for your professional success and overall happiness. The Stoics were keenly aware of the role emotions play in our lives. They recognized that emotions, when left unchecked, can cloud our judgment, lead us astray, and prevent us from living in accordance with our values. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, and the quality of your thoughts is often shaped by how you manage your emotions and the relationships you engage in. In a world that's constantly pulling us in different directions, it's easy to lose sight of what really matters in relationships. We often give in to toxic dynamics, whether it's staying in friendships that no longer serve us or ignoring red flags in romantic relationships. Yet, healthy, meaningful relationships are the pillars that support us in times of difficulty, provide us with joy, and help us grow. Take a moment to reflect on the relationships in your life. Do the people you spend the most time with inspire you? Do they encourage you to grow, challenge you to be better, and support you through life's ups and downs? Or do they drain your energy, fill you with negativity, or keep you stuck in unhealthy patterns? When you surround yourself with people who lift you up, your emotional health thrives. But it's not just about finding the right people, it's about becoming the right person. Emotional intelligence requires self-awareness and an understanding of your emotions. When you can identify how you're feeling, it becomes easier to manage your reactions and avoid impulsive behavior. Imagine being in a heated argument, and instead of letting your anger take over, you pause, breathe, and respond calmly. This kind of self-regulation comes from emotional intelligence and will significantly impact your relationships. The Stoics were known for their focus on self-control. They believed that to live virtuously, you needed to practice managing your emotions, particularly in the face of adversity. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings, but rather responding to them with wisdom, rather than letting them control you. In terms of fostering meaningful relationships, the Stoics believed that the quality of our interactions and our ability to show empathy were vital. When we are emotionally intelligent, we can better understand the perspectives of others, respond with kindness, and build trust. We stop reacting impulsively to the actions of others, and instead, we approach our relationships with calm, reason, and empathy. So, how can you improve your emotional intelligence and build better relationships? Start by becoming more self-aware. Pay attention to how your emotions affect your interactions and your decisions. Practice mindfulness. Take a step back before reacting in situations that trigger strong emotions. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What's causing this reaction? And how can I respond in a way that aligns with my values? In relationships, focus on quality over quantity. Seek out people who inspire you and challenge you to grow. Create space for deep, meaningful conversations and listen with empathy. Be present in your interactions and focus on building trust and respect. The more you invest in your emotional intelligence and surround yourself with supportive, inspiring people, the stronger your relationships will become. As you foster these connections, you'll also find that your own emotional resilience grows, and you become better equipped to handle life's challenges. 7. Manage stress and improve mental clarity. Have you ever felt like your mind is constantly racing? Like there's a never-ending stream of thoughts, worries, and distractions, making it impossible to focus or feel at ease? In today's fast-paced world, stress has become a constant companion for many of us. Whether it's work, relationships, or just the weight of daily responsibilities, stress can quickly accumulate, clouding our judgment and draining our energy. The key to rebuilding yourself is not just managing stress, but learning how to control it and improve your mental clarity. If you want to live a life of purpose and fulfillment, you need to be able to think clearly, make wise decisions, and stay calm, even in the midst of chaos. This requires cultivating a strong mind, one that can withstand the pressures of life and continue moving forward with confidence. The Stoics were masters at managing stress and cultivating mental clarity. They understood that while external circumstances are often beyond our control, our response to them is entirely within our power. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The Stoics believed that we should focus not on what we cannot control, but on what we can, the way we react, the way we think, and the way we approach challenges. The first step in managing stress is recognizing that it is a natural part of life. Stress isn't something that should be completely eliminated. It's a signal that something needs attention. It's your body's way of preparing you to respond to challenges. However, when stress becomes chronic or overwhelming, it starts to negatively impact your mental and physical well-being. This is when managing it becomes essential. One of the most effective ways to manage stress is through mindfulness. By practicing mindfulness, you can learn to observe your thoughts without getting caught up in them. Instead of allowing your mind to spiral into worries about the past or future, you bring your attention back to the present moment. This simple practice can help you stay grounded and focused, even when life feels chaotic. Meditation is another powerful tool for managing stress and improving mental clarity. Even just 5 or 10 minutes a day can have a profound impact. When you meditate, you quiet the noise in your mind and create space for clarity. It's like cleaning a dusty window. You clear away the distractions and allow your thoughts to flow freely. Another key practice is deep breathing. When we're stressed, our bodies often go into fight or flight mode, causing us to breathe more shallowly and quickly. This accelerates the cycle of stress and anxiety. But by focusing on slow, deep breaths, you can calm your nervous system and regain control over your mind and body. Deep breathing helps bring your attention back to the present, grounding you in the here and now. It's also important to take care of your physical health when managing stress. Regular exercise, a balanced diet, and adequate sleep are critical for mental clarity and stress management. Exercise, in particular, is a powerful tool for relieving stress, as it releases endorphins that improve mood and reduce tension. A well-rested mind is clearer, more focused, and better equipped to handle challenges with a calm and rational perspective. The Stoics understood that calmness in the face of adversity was a form of strength. They practiced maintaining a sense of inner peace, no matter what external circumstances were happening around them. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions or pretending everything is fine when it's not. It means acknowledging the challenges you face and choosing how to respond. So, how can you start managing your stress today? Start by taking small steps to incorporate mindfulness, deep breathing, or meditation into your daily routine. Take time each day to check in with yourself. How are you feeling? What's causing you stress, and how can you shift your focus to what you can control? Building resilience to stress is a gradual process. It requires practice, patience, and consistency. But by taking control of your mental clarity, you'll be able to navigate life's challenges with a clear mind, steady confidence, and a calm presence that will help you stay on track, no matter what. 8. Celebrate small wins and embrace lifelong learning. It's easy to get caught up in the idea of a big win, that one moment when everything falls into place, when you finally achieve your ultimate goal. But here's the truth. Those big wins are the result of countless small wins. Every day, every action you take, no matter how small, is moving you closer to your larger vision. The key is learning to celebrate those small wins and to keep embracing the process, rather than just focusing on the end result. The problem is that we often overlook these small victories. We get so fixated on the final outcome that we forget to acknowledge the progress we've made along the way. This leads to frustration, burnout, and a feeling that we're not moving fast enough. But growth isn't linear. Success doesn't happen in a straight line. It's built step by step, day by day. And if you don't take the time to celebrate the small wins, you risk overlooking the progress that's happening right in front of you. The Stoics understood the importance of focusing on the present moment and appreciating the journey. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." In other words, your mindset plays a huge role in how you experience progress. If you only focus on the end goal, you'll miss the satisfaction that comes from the daily growth you're achieving. When you celebrate small wins, you're reinforcing positive behaviors and building momentum. Each small step forward is a win, and recognizing that creates a positive feedback loop. The more you acknowledge your progress, the more motivated you become. It's a reminder that you're moving in the right direction and that every action, no matter how small, is part of your larger transformation. Celebrating small wins also helps to keep you grounded. When you're focused on the bigger picture, it's easy to become overwhelmed by how much work is still ahead of you. But when you pause to recognize the steps you've already taken, you give yourself the motivation to keep going. It's about acknowledging the hard work, the persistence, and the discipline that's already in motion. Each day that you continue to show up for yourself, you are winning. This doesn't mean throwing a huge celebration every time you check something off your to-do list. Celebrating small wins can be as simple as acknowledging them in your mind, or taking a moment to feel proud of what you've accomplished. It's the internal recognition that what you're doing matters, that it's getting you closer to where you want to be. And as you celebrate those small wins, don't forget the importance of lifelong learning. The process of growth is ongoing, and the more you learn, the more you'll grow. Embrace the mindset of constant learning. The Stoics believed that wisdom was a lifelong pursuit, and they constantly sought to improve themselves, even in the face of hardship. When you adopt this mindset, you understand that the journey itself is the reward. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that once you achieve a certain goal, you're done. But true fulfillment comes from the continuous process of learning, evolving, and improving. Whether it's learning a new skill, reading a book, or simply reflecting on your actions, the key to lifelong growth is staying curious and open to new knowledge. So, how can you celebrate small wins and embrace lifelong learning today? Start by setting smaller, more achievable goals that you can work toward every day. Each time you hit one of these milestones, take a moment to celebrate. And as you move forward, stay open to learning from every experience. Remember, success is a journey, not a destination. The more you embrace the process and celebrate the small wins along the way, the more fulfilling and rewarding your path will be. 9. Enhance work-life balance and time management. Have you ever found yourself overwhelmed by the endless to-do lists, juggling multiple responsibilities, and feeling like there's never enough time in the day to get everything done? In the pursuit of success, many of us fall into the trap of working harder and longer, convinced that more hours spent at the office or on our projects will lead to more achievement. But here's the truth. More time doesn't always mean more success. What you really need is balance. Balance between work and life, between ambition and self-care. Achieving work-life balance isn't about splitting your time evenly between work and leisure. It's about ensuring that you allocate your time in a way that aligns with your values, priorities, and long-term goals. Work is important, but so is your health, your relationships, and your personal fulfillment. Without balance, you risk burning out, sacrificing your well-being, and losing sight of what truly matters. The Stoics were particularly attuned to the concept of balance. They believed that living in accordance with nature meant living with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, all of which help us find balance in our daily lives. For the Stoics, achieving balance was a matter of focusing on what was truly essential and letting go of the things that distracted from that. As Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, finding balance requires clear focus and intentional effort. It's not something that just happens, it's something you create. So, how do you begin to create balance in your life? Start by evaluating how you currently spend your time. Are there areas where you're overcommitting or neglecting? Look at your work schedule and see if there are tasks that could be delegated or streamlined. Are you spending too many hours on projects that drain you while neglecting the things that nourish you, your hobbies, your family, your health? The first step to creating balance is acknowledging where you're out of alignment. Next, focus on time management. Effective time management doesn't mean packing every hour of the day with tasks. It means being intentional with how you spend your time. Prioritize your most important tasks, set clear boundaries around your work and personal life, and eliminate distractions. This might mean turning off your phone during certain hours, saying no to meetings that don't align with your goals, or setting aside time each day for self-care. But it's not just about managing time, it's about managing your energy. The energy you bring to each task determines how productive and effective you are. If you're constantly running on empty, you'll find it difficult to be present or to do your best work. That's why it's essential to prioritize activities that replenish your energy. Whether that's physical exercise, taking breaks, spending time with loved ones, or engaging in activities that bring you joy. One key to balancing work and life is recognizing that you are the most important asset in your life. You can't pour from an empty cup. If you neglect your physical, mental, or emotional health in pursuit of professional success, you'll eventually reach a point where both areas suffer. Take care of yourself first, and everything else will follow more smoothly. The Stoics taught us to be mindful of our time and to focus on what we can control. By practicing daily reflection and intentionally managing your time and energy, you can create a balanced life that allows you to excel in both your personal and professional endeavors. As you move forward, keep this question in mind. Am I living in alignment with my values? If you are, you'll find that your work and personal life will not only coexist, they'll complement each other, leading to greater fulfillment and success in both areas. 10. Embrace change and unlock your full potential. Change is the one constant in life, yet we often resist it. It's natural to feel uncomfortable with uncertainty, to want to hold on to the familiar. We cling to routines, to what we know, even if we're not fully satisfied. But here's the truth. Embracing change is the key to unlocking your full potential. Growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens when you face the unknown with courage, adapt to new circumstances, and step boldly into the future. The Stoics taught us that change is inevitable and that we should accept it without resistance. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." This wisdom highlights the power of perspective. While we may not have control over the changes that happen around us, we always have control over how we react to them. The more we resist change, the more we limit ourselves. But when we embrace change, we open the door to new possibilities and opportunities for growth. One of the biggest obstacles to embracing change is fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, or fear of not being good enough. But let's be clear, fear is normal. It's a natural response to stepping outside of our comfort zones. However, If we let fear dictate our decisions, we'll miss out on countless opportunities for growth. The Stoics believed that the best way to deal with fear was to face it head-on. Instead of running from uncertainty, they encouraged us to approach it with rationality and courage. Think about it. How often do you hold yourself back because you're afraid of failing? How many opportunities have you passed up because you weren't sure you were ready? The truth is, you'll never feel completely ready. The key is to take action in spite of fear. Each step you take, no matter how small, will build your confidence and resilience. Change becomes easier when you start making it a habit, when you decide to see every new experience as an opportunity to learn and grow. Embracing change also means letting go of the past. We all have baggage, old habits, limiting beliefs, past mistakes that weigh us down. These things hold us back from moving forward. But if you want to unlock your full potential, you have to let go of what no longer serves you. This doesn't mean forgetting the past, but it means not letting it define your future. The Stoics believed that it's not the past that determines our future, but how we respond to the present. By focusing on the here and now, and by letting go of past regrets or fears, you create space for new opportunities and growth. So, how can you start embracing change today? Start by recognizing the areas of your life where you're resisting growth. What are the beliefs, habits, or fears that are holding you back? Once you identify them, challenge yourself to step outside of your comfort zone. Take one small action towards something you've been avoiding. The more you practice embracing change, the more natural it will become. Also, remember that change is a process. You don't need to have everything figured out. Trust that by taking consistent, purposeful steps, you will evolve into the person you're meant to be. Whether it's changing careers, adopting new habits, or facing fears head-on, every change you embrace brings you closer to your true potential. The journey of self-transformation doesn't have to be a battle. It's a matter of adapting to what life throws your way with grace and courage. Embrace the uncertainty, the discomfort, and the change. And in doing so, you unlock the potential that's been within you all along. You've just explored 10 powerful steps to begin rebuilding yourself and transforming your life with Stoic wisdom. Each of these steps, whether it's rediscovering your passions, cultivating self-awareness, or embracing change, is a building block on the path to becoming the best version of yourself. But here's the key takeaway. Transformation doesn't happen overnight. It happens gradually, with every choice you make, every action you take, and every challenge you embrace. The journey of rebuilding yourself is ongoing, and there will be ups and downs. But by focusing on your well-being, staying disciplined, and embracing change, you'll continue to grow stronger, more resilient, and more aligned with your true purpose. The power to change is within you, and the Stoic principles we've discussed today provide the framework to help you make those changes intentional, purposeful, and lasting. So, now is the time to take action. Choose one of these steps, whether it's setting new habits, managing your energy, or letting go of limiting beliefs, and start today. Don't wait for the perfect moment or the perfect conditions. The perfect time to begin is always now. If you found this episode helpful, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Your engagement helps others discover the power of Stoicism and personal growth. And remember, the journey of self-improvement is yours to shape, step by step, day by day, with the guidance of Stoic wisdom. Thank you for listening, and until next time, keep rebuilding, keep growing, and keep moving forward.